everybody. It's Dr. Cindy with the Positively Altered podcast. Today's episode is going to be a little unique because we are going to discuss what Dunkin Donuts has to do with failure or the inability to fail, or looking at failure actually differently, because I love that word failure. I look at it as an opportunity. At the same time, we're going to explore bucket lists, of which I don't have one, and I'm curious if I'm going to need one, and how we can actually become remarkable. I use a remarkable. Am I remarkable? Well, in order for you to find out, stay tuned. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we will be back with today's guest on the Positively Altered podcast.
Hello, my name is Heather Lord, and I am the COO of Professional Health Products. Cutting corners is an all too common practice in the dietary supplement industry. When my father founded Professional Health Products, he sourced the cleanest, most biologically active ingredients from around the globe. Today, that commitment remains, which is why the finest healthcare practitioners, like Dr. Cindy, have trusted us for more than 40 years. We oversee the entire process in our manufacturing facility, from sourcing and formulation to manufacturing and labeling. Today, we offer over 300 unique products that can be tailored to the nutritional and homeopathic needs of each individual. Most recently, we launched a proprietary genetic test, allowing our practitioners to get even more dialed in to their patients' health. To learn more about Professional Health Products, please talk to your practitioner or visit our website at phpltd.com.
Today, your life is going to be altered. I'm Dr. Cindy.
Welcome to Infinity. We have worked hard to create an electronic claims website that is simple and user-friendly. This is the public side. You can log into your personal web portal here. This is your dashboard. You can personalize it to your liking here. Our main focus has been to allow you to submit and edit claims as easy as possible. You will find our claims editor and claims processing is simple to use and straightforward. Our quick action bar is where you can find your most important information. Most of these icons will take you directly to the claims the number represents. You can easily view if you have any messages in your inbox of any unread alerts by looking for these blue numbers. To view the rest of our training videos to get the most of your Infinity experience, click this icon. We hope you find this web portal simple and easy to use. Thanks for letting us serve you.
I'm Dr. Cindy. Who wouldn't want to join me for the Positively Altered podcast? Welcome back. I'm so glad you hung tight after our commercial sponsors because, as you always know, they are super important to us. We are here with the most amazing human being. I'm so excited to hear about her story. Welcome, Shira Miller.
Hi, Dr. Cindy. I'm so thrilled to be here.
Oh my gosh, we are going to have fun. And I purposely use that word because that's an important word for you, isn't it?
You know, life just isn't worth it if you're not having a good time.
You know what? I think that's fair. All right. I want to dive into a really important question, though, I think, before we even get into your story, which I think is very relevant to this. And that is, I went through a period, I'm going to give you a preface with a question, right? Went through a period of time in my life where I was reevaluating if I really was enjoying what I was doing. And somebody asked me a very important question, and they said, when was the last time you had fun? And I had to think about it, which actually upset me because I feel like I should be able to answer it. And I started to ask other people the same question. And what I found is people dug really deep to find that big vacation, that big party, right? This massive thing that they equated to being fun versus, you know what? I'm actually having fun right now talking to you, right? There's, I think, different levels. So can you share with me just your concept, your idea of that word fun and where maybe we're getting it wrong and maybe we can shift a little bit to get it right?
Yes, fun doesn't have to be a mandated activity that you prepare for, like it's the SAT or a big work deadline. It's even better if it's just something spontaneous that brings you joy in the moment. And I can tell you, when I think about fun for us at home, it could be my husband and I just watching our dog do super goofy things. It makes us laugh out loud. It could be, oh yeah, okay, I'm in Japan. I'm seeing some really cool things, but fun doesn't have to have a sense of preparation or social, trying to impress other people. It's about just what truly brings you delight in the moment.
I love that. And you said SAT and preparing a work project. Those aren't fun for most of us, Shira.
They're not. The point is you have to do all of this advanced thought and planning for those things. And I know people who approach fun like it's, an Olympic sport. They're like, damn it, I'm going to have fun. Here's what I'm going to put online. Here's how you're going to perceive me. And they're not. They're not having fun. It's just extra effort.
Right. And those little things can be so awesome when you slow down to appreciate them.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But we all seem to have this story of how we got to the fun, right? Because it isn't always wonderful when we look back. And now I'd like to backtrack with you a little bit and talk about the hard stuff, right?
Sure.
So share with everybody, you talk a lot about this financial journey that you've been on. And I find that a lot of successful people always have what we call the failure story, right? Which is really not failure at all. Share with us, if you will, your journey through that.
Oh gosh, absolutely. And I'm going to take us back to a point in time, back in 2009, during the Great Recession. I didn't quite see it coming yet. I had a very successful public relations firm, from the outside. It looked very glitzy, fancy office space. We won a lot of awards doing work for some really cool clients. And I remember thinking, banking, all these other sectors, they were having problems. Oh, it's not going to impact me. I'm dealing with consumer PR. And sure enough, in May of 2009, I remember we had 4 PR proposals out. Normally we'd get, half. We had nothing. And not only did they not choose us, they didn't do work for anybody. Clients started pulling work back. And within a few months, it went from prosperity to a really scary place. Mm-hmm. I eventually had to let really great people go. I had $100,000 worth of business debt. In a stroke of very bad luck, I had just 6 months earlier re-signed a 6-year lease on that fancy office space. And it was awful. So I spent 4 years doing all the work by myself, paying back all the debt. I just knocked myself out. And when I could finally breathe again, all these other things start happening. I ended up developing Crohn's disease from the stress, and just walked around with, my head held down. I just was apologizing, even though I hadn't done anything wrong, constantly feeling bad about it. And then, I realized I really have been through a lot and I need to be proud of this because I survived. 200,000 small businesses went under and I didn't. But it was a real struggle, and I'm never going to forget that.
What do you think when you said you changed? Was there a specific impetus for you that allowed that mindset shift?
Yes, I had, let's go to like 2013, 2014. I had a few things happen at once. So I was diagnosed with Crohn's disease. I was really sick, didn't know what was going on. I had met, after divorce, I met the love of my life. He came in around that time. We got married, super happy personally. I decided to become a certified executive coach because I was really interested in human potential. And I went back into corporate. I found a job that just, ticked everything. It let me make a big impact on the culture as well as on communication. So it was just a hard time, a great time. And when all of that happened, just my tolerance for beating myself up for no reason and apologizing when I hadn't done anything wrong, it went out the window and I stopped doing that.
I love that. And what are you doing currently now?
So I'm a multi-hyphenate like you. My corporate job, I'm the Chief Communications Officer of National DCP. We are the $3 billion supply chain owned by Dunkin franchisees. And I'm also a professional keynote speaker and an author.
Oh my gosh, Dunkin Donuts. So how do we talk them into a gluten-free, dairy-free, sugar-free donut, Shira?
Good luck with that, Cindy. I don't know how that would really market well. It's like, just give me an empty napkin. So yeah, it's not the target audience.
I would be a customer of one, wouldn't I?
You would.
Yeah, customer of one. And clearly, since they're all over everywhere I go, they are doing something correct outside of the dairy-free, gluten-free, sugar-free market.
They are. They are crushing it. If you like gluten and dairy and sugar, go to Dunkin Donuts.
I love that. All right. So I need a dirty little secret answered before we move on, because I heard a rumor, I don't know if it's true, that they actually don't get up early in the morning and make the donuts in their location.
You know what? I'm going to give you a yes and answer, because
Okay.
here's what's happened. There's a couple of different ways that the donuts happen. A lot of cities, I'm thinking you're in Chicago, there are central manufacturing kitchens that bake the donuts there, and they're fresh and they're delicious. I've had them right off the line, and then they're immediately taken to the stores and replenished throughout the day.
Okay.
Also, some stores get a frozen product that they bake on site and decorate in the frosting. So it still tastes super yummy if you're into that thing.
Okay. So I'm going to share a little dirty secret with you here in our lovely suburbs. There was a time that the high school students would dumpster dive after hours because they heard that Dunkin' would throw out all of their donuts at the end of the day. How gross is that, Shira? Like, I mean, donuts are not that expensive. They could.
They're not. And I'm really worried about the way that these kids were raised. Like, are their parents not feeding them? What is going on here?
You know what? I don't think it's a lack of food. I think it's the challenge, right? Kids do stupid stuff to see if they can get caught, right? Or not get caught. I think it was more of the like, let's do something dumb and see if
you
we
know
get away
what?
with it.
If in the scope of dumb, diving for discarded donuts is better than that whole Tide Pod challenge. So yeah, okay. It's socially acceptable.
Right. I mean, who knew that Dunkin' was going to provide a much safer alternative to some of the TikTok challenges, right, that are out there. I don't know if that's good for their marketing campaign, but if it is, I'd like a little credit now, Shira, if the next commercial is about donut diving.
I'll put a word in with you to Ben Affleck. I'm on that right away. Sure.
You know what? That would be real. Listen, that's the next Super Bowl commercial, isn't it? Is Ben and his team are going to dumpster dive for donuts. I actually think there's something there, Shira.
There could be. I'll pass it on.
I love that. Okay. So let's talk about now. I don't even know what to talk about after that. Like what? I don't even know what made me tell you that story. It's so ridiculous. We're going to have to pause so I reset into something a little bit more mindful. All right. Let's go into this team space, right? Because clearly you live in this environment now. You came out of it. You stayed in it. You just moved industries. And you talk about something where you've titled it Activate the Remarkable.
Yes.
What does that mean? Aren't we all remarkable, Shira, in some way?
Yes, we are. Every single person has the remarkable in them. But here's the scoop, Cindy. In these crazy nonstop times where it's so hard to think, you feel like you've got to be on 24/7. People feel like they're just barely getting by. People are exhausted. They're overwhelmed. And it's never been harder to be remarkable, but it's never been more important. And so my job is to try to help people through my speaking, through different things that I'm writing, learn how to activate the remarkable that is already in every member of their team and in themselves. And so I just go through a whole bunch of different practical tools and tips so that you can rediscover it and really thrive and have meaning and fulfillment.
Give me a good tip most of us don't use.
Oh, gosh. I can give you the first one that's coming to mind is about something you could do for an employee. Do you want one for an employee? Or do you want one for activating it in yourself?
I want both, Shira.
Oh, then you've got it. Okay. So at work, it's really important to have a meaningful conversation. And here are 3 really quick steps that you can take to help people activate the remarkable. The first one is to acknowledge something that's going right. It could be their talent. It could be a particular skill, someone just showing up with a great idea at work. And then step 2 is to give somebody honest feedback. So often people don't want conflict. They think, oh my gosh, if I give them, feedback that isn't that positive, it's going to cause a problem. That's not fair. We're all grown-ups, at least to a certain extent. You need to have honest conversations with people because you see it as an opportunity for improvement. And then the third step in that and how to have a meaningful conversation is to offer real support. So if somebody's got to get more organized at work, or they need to learn how to present better, that's going to be, critical for getting a promotion in the future. It's giving them the support and the tools that they can learn all of that. And so that's the how to have a meaningful conversation to activate the remarkable.
I love the order you put that in. And I don't know how you feel, so I'm going to ask, but for me, listening to you, I love the finding the thing that somebody is doing really well works great in my environment first, so that the perception of the two things you mentioned that follow are positive.
Bingo. And what it does, it sets you off in a tone where the person can actually listen to what you're saying because you're setting it off in a positive way. You feel seen and you feel acknowledged. And that is so important. Think about how many people start a conversation with, here's what's going wrong. And what happens is the person you're speaking with, they start shutting down. It becomes very overwhelming. And that's not the way to have a meaningful conversation.
Yeah, I love one of the favorite questions that I love to ask, whether it's in a work environment or personal environment, is what can I do for you?
That's a beautiful question. And what kind of responses do you get?
Sometimes nothing, because people don't know how to answer it. Or I find that some people feel it's self-serving to answer that question, which makes me sad, right? Because we're giving them the opportunity to actually give feedback. And sometimes I think the appreciation of that is, oh, really? Like, you want to help me? Absolutely. Right? It isn't about just, I have an expectation of what you can do. It's, I want to help you do whatever it is that you're doing in a way that lifts you up as well, not that just supports me. And it's fun to see the response. And it's also been fun to see when you continue to ask it for the people that struggle with it, to watch them learn how to answer it.
Well, and when you're doing this, not only is it helpful to them, but you're putting goodness in the world for you.
Yes.
You're being of service.
Yes. We forget about that, don't we? We live in this little tiny bubble that we call our own head, and we forget that there's this whole world outside of us that can lift us up, and vice versa.
Yes.
And I think that's important. All right, now let's talk about me. What do I get to do to be remarkable?
Okay. A couple of different things that you can do to be remarkable. Oh, if you're having a moment of doubt or you feel really overwhelmed, I want to tell you about my reverse bucket list exercise.
Okay.
So, the concept of a bucket list. It's,
hate it.
Yeah, aspirational. You don't like it? Okay, well then you're going to love the reverse.
Okay, good.
You'll love the reverse. So instead of things I want to do before I die, okay, morbid. A reverse bucket list is where you make notes on things you've already done, things that you are proud of. And what I ask people to do, just take a few minutes, list everything. Did you put yourself through college? Did you end a cycle of bad parenting? Did you, discover that if I start working out in the morning, I feel better about myself? I ask people to list everything, not just like a whole bunch of work accomplishments, but anything that comes to mind. And then what you do once you make that reverse bucket list, take a couple minutes, look at it, and then people are amazed. What it does is it reinforces how incredibly capable and resilient you are. And from that place, people can see their own remarkable, and they can start taking chances and risks and reaching for more.
I've never actually heard it presented that way. What a gift you just gave me, because I will tell you, I'll share with you why I don't like the bucket list.
Yes.
If people say, I want to go do something, right? The want, it feels very, sometimes unattainable. It feels sometimes needy. It feels right out there, versus if you want something, just go do it. Yeah. And I recognize that, like, okay, if you want to take a trip around the world, you can't just leave, although you could just leave tomorrow. I suppose there's repercussions to it, but yes, there's planning in some of the I wants on the bucket list. But again, it feels very, I don't know. It feels very far to me, versus if I want to do something, I'm just going to go do it. And I love the self-reflection backward, because I think the message that it gives me of that I'm capable, I've accomplished, in your words, I'm remarkable, versus I'm needing something that I can't quite get to.
And I love how you've made that distinction, because you're right. A traditional bucket list is so aspirational, it feels unattainable, and you're holding off on living what you really want to do in life.
Yeah. And the bucket list winds up, I think, for people too, being these big grandiose events instead of like, sometimes I just want to get out of bed tomorrow. Right? At a normal time and not feel the aches in my knees and like go, right? I mean, like sometimes the goals should be smaller and closer. And we forget, I think, too, about those things. So to your point, being remarkable isn't always about the grandiose events. Sometimes it's a series of all these little tiny things that we forget are actually amazing.
Well, and when you start acknowledging them, it creates more. It really builds your remarkable muscles, and it creates more optimism, a sense of possibility. It is tremendous, the changes that it makes immediately and over time.
So how close is this activity of activating your remarkable to that concept of people who say, like, at the end of the day, pull out a journal, write down all the great things or even the bad things, but write down what happened over the course of the day to self-reflect? Is there some symmetry in that type of activity for you?
I believe there is, because it's a sense of acknowledgement. That's the common thread. When you take a journal and you write things out, it allows it to sink in. You absorb it deeper and it becomes more real. People don't pause enough to really reflect on, wow, I did that. Or I was able to overcome that. Or like you just used the example, my knees hurt, but I got my butt out of bed this morning. So when it's that pausing to reflect and let it enrich you, that is important, however you do it.
Yeah, I love this. I'm thinking about how I can implement this even in my own life, right? Of these exercises. And it makes me think of like all all the places we go to review things, Google review, Yelp, right? And when you look at reviews, there's always seems to be more of the like, this place was horrible, right? It wasn't clean. The service was like, we're very quick to recognize and review the negative. And not that there aren't good reviews out there, there are, but I wonder how many of them are true. I think a lot of those are
written by the owner's mother. Yes. Okay.
Right? Like for every bad one, did I call 8 friends and say, can you put a review past that to shove the bad one further down the list so you see all the good ones? And again, I know there are people out there who take the time, but I think like we need this internal Google review, to your point, of let's really review all the amazing things that we've stepped through today so that, and it's not for anybody else to see. It's for us to self-recognize our worth, our value, and I'm going to make up a word, our remarkability. Is that a real word?
Yes, it is.
Remarkability.
Remarkability.
I like to make up words. I don't know if that's a true word or not.
I think it's a sign of intense creativity.
Okay, I'm gonna take that. Sometimes I just speak so fast the word comes out wrong, and then I'm like, oh, I just created a new word, and I roll with that rather than saying it was incorrect.
No, remarkability is a word. I can guarantee it.
And I can't take credit for that one, but I was going to start the Dr. Cindy dictionary of made up words that I think are important one day.
I'd buy that.
We have a short running list. That's for sure. So where do you get, okay, so you're out in the world speaking, and I love this, right? I mean, we've got a lot of similarities. We're out with a message on stage. It's this amazing space, right? Because there are people sitting there and listening. Where do you, though, find the most resistant? Like, who's that person sitting in the audience that's going, too good to be true. Like, this won't work. Where does that happen for you?
I think when people start hearing about remarkable, they think it's something fluffy. They don't understand what it means. And so I break it down into, here's the impact it has on your business. And I'll start sharing, different stats about when your people don't feel remarkable, here's what happens. But when you do take these steps, I've got a whole activate the remarkable framework, which is, about seeing the individual. It's about creating optimism and a sense of possibility and having real opportunities for growth. I bring a lot of science and research behind it. And that tends to the people who might think it's too fluffy go, oh, okay. I can see this. I have a lot of business examples. I lean into oh yes, I'm a C-suite executive. So it all depends on my audience. For example, I've been the guest expert a couple of times at Canyon Ranch in Tucson, and that's more the activate your remarkable topic. I don't have the naysayers there. That's everybody's already like, yeah, let's work on ourselves. But in a corporate environment, I find it's really important to have the research as part of the story.
Yeah, I love that. It validates us, right? There's credibility in the fact that you've walked through it yourself, but there's also credibility in the ability to say, hey, we've got something legit on paper that we've looked at, we've studied, and this works. So pay attention to me, right?
Yes.
It works. I mean, let's face it, it's why we're all on stage, right? Is pay attention to me. I've got something important to share with you. I could change your life for the better. It's interesting. I feel very sad sometimes that I say my audience is the people that are like right there on the fence, right? They want to make that change I talk a lot about getting out of negativity bias into a state of positivity, right? So same concepts, different words, different paths to get there. But I also find, and again, this is the sad part for me, is it's really hard for me in that change for that person that's so far low, so far in that rabbit hole that they can't see themselves the ability that a few words, a few activities, a couple small changes in their life make that shift. How do we get to those people that are really, truly stuck and not those of us that are like, yes, I'm ready to take it on, and they get the little light bulb when they hear you?
I'm going to dive right into something that you've introduced as part of your platform. Since we are all born with negativity bias, sometimes if we can just get people to a neutral mindset through cognitive reframing. And so, I'll take people sometimes to, depending on the circumstances through how to choose a neutral stance because most of us are not naturally positive, or how to make these little teeny shifts on a daily basis. So one of the activities that I teach leaders, because you model optimism and then, so you can grow with your team, is, each day find one thing that happened. It could be finding $20 in your pocket. It could be you gave great advice to a team member. It could be, hey, did you just friggin' survive the day? And for some people, that's a big win. So it's just honoring people where they are. And let's try to get to a neutral mindset instead of, I'm Chicken Little and the sky is falling.
Yeah, I love that. It is so hard. There's science stats out there, right? That we have approximately 60 to 80,000 thoughts a day. It's a lot of thoughts. Actually, it's tiring just thinking about how many thoughts I have. And that, again, depending on what you read, but a good, 80% of those are negative.
Yeah.
Without intention. They just are. So we're stuck in that space to begin with. And we actually have to work at it. It's a job, if you will, to change that mindset from the way we're wired.
When we break it down and make it so it's not such a huge burden, I think that's when people get that they can make a shift. Mm-hmm. Because if it's oh my gosh, I can't be like Miss Peppy, upbeat, instant, but if I can just be a little teeny happier,
yes,
or a little bit more positive, and then record it in a journal. I love your Positively Altered podcast journal. I've got my copy right here. I look like Vanna White.
Love it.
But, just recording it and noting this, it is so important.
It is, and you said something that resonates so strongly with me. I can't stand the word, and I just used it. Can't. And I remember raising 3 children when the children say, Mom, I can't. I wouldn't even let them finish the sentence. You can and you will. Or you can and you can choose not to. But you can, right? And it is that the brain believes whatever it is that we say. And who is it? I don't even know this is how good or bad marketing is, right? Who was the one that originally said, if you believe you can, or if you believe you can't, you can't. And if you believe you can, you can. And I'm not saying it is as lovely as it comes out, but there's truth to that, right? Of the mindset of you really are what you believe, and what you believe is what you say, because the brain needs to hear that. And I love, there's an exercise that I love, and I just call it the I am statements. And it's, I am beautiful. I am sexy. I am smart. I am intelligent. I am lovely. I am kind. I'm a great employer. Whatever. Right. And you just rattle these things off. And my joke always when I speak is, I sit and I say, oh, I'm beautiful and I'm sexy. And there's no doubt that there are people watching the podcast right now going, she's not pretty. I don't know why she thinks she's beautiful and sexy, but she is not attractive, right? And at the end of the day, I don't care, because I walk around the world thinking I'm beautiful and I'm sexy, right? So it doesn't matter, because I've trained my brain to think those things so that I can carry myself in a way that isn't, I'm ugly and homely and nobody's going to look at me, right? And at the end of the day, there are people who don't find me attractive.
Well, you know what?
They're wrong, Shira. They're wrong.
They are totally wrong. And they wish they were you. They wish they could start. They need to start doing your I am statements so they start feeling good about themselves.
It's it's chaotic in here, Shira. So don't say I am Cindy. Don't do that. Be a better who you are, right? Be you and escalate you. But it does. It helps me every day when I use the I am messaging with a positive word that follows.
Yes. Yes. That's powerful.
It's fun. Okay. So it's fun. See, we came back to the fun.
Full circle.
I love that. Is there ever a day you don't have fun, Shira?
Yes.
There is.
There is. And I'll tell you the days where all I do is make a to-do list with like 37 things and I don't let myself sit and I'll eat while I'm on a Zoom call trying to do something else. When I push myself ridiculously hard and skimp on sleep, yeah, those days aren't so great.
And how do you get past those?
I call my own BS and I realize what I'm doing and I go, wow, I really don't feel really good right now. What's up? And I journal each day. So usually I'm able to catch it within a 24-hour period. So I go, oh yeah, that day was that day was crap because of this. So you know what? Let's build in some breaks. I don't need to do all those things on one day. It's okay. I can tell my boss at work, we're going to have that tomorrow, not today. Yeah. It's cool. And does anything bad usually happen? No, I'm happier and better.
Isn't that great? So are you ready for the failures?
Oh yeah. I mean, the failure means you're trying.
Yeah.
You're trying.
Yeah. I want to change the connotation of that word. I actually love that word. I love the word failure. I just wish it didn't feel so bad when people hear that, right? There's such an amazing gift in your point of I tried something and being able to reevaluate, did it work or didn't it work in the way I wanted it to, and the gift that comes out of it.
Life's just about taking chances. I was really convinced at a young age, I don't want to have any regrets when I die.
Mm-hmm.
And so take the chance. If it doesn't work, okay, fine. Regroup, try something else.
And you know what? It got you to this moment here today.
It has, talking to you.
Right. And I'm so appreciative. What's next on your journey? What's the next step, the next goal for you?
I'm booking out a lot of keynotes.
Awesome.
I absolutely, like you, love speaking. So it's just helping as many companies and leaders and individuals activate remarkable in their teams and in themselves. And that is why I'm here.
Oh my gosh. What a great message to land on. Shira, we're going to take a commercial break because again, we love our sponsors. We do. And then we're going to come back. We're going to have some fun. I'm going to throw some questions at you that you were not prepared for.
Ooh.
And you can pass. There's no pressure, but I'd love to have a little bit of fun. You up for that in a couple minutes?
Absolutely.
All right. Everybody stay tuned and, go get a journal because you got work to do today when we're done with the podcast. We will be right back with the Positively Altered podcast. This is your weekly dose of Dr. Cindy, the Positively Altered podcast. Stop. Hit that follow button now and spread the love with Positively Altered. And we are back. I am Dr. Cindy, your host of the Positively Altered podcast with my lovely and amazing guest, Shira Miller. We've had some fun. I was just telling her during the break that this conversation felt like it was about 3 minutes, which means it was actually enjoyable because, some conversations, Shira, feel like the full time that they take.
They do.
They do. And don't ask me who it is because we have amazing guests on the podcast. So it's probably off the podcast that happens. But all right, rapid fire. You ready?
Yes.
What is one place on earth you have never been you would love to see?
I would love to go to Australia.
Nice.
Yeah.
First class though, because it's a long flight.
Yeah. First class. I think it came from growing up and hearing, the land from down under from Men at Work. And yeah, I think I got coded in from being a kid. Yes. And that's on that will be on my list in the next year or two.
Okay, so let's do this. Let's find a speaking engagement where we both can go. I'll open for you, you keynote, and let's get our butts down under.
Fantastic. And why don't we both keynote?
Well, okay, that's fun.
Okay. Yes.
I like that. But again, listen, I'm happy in any space. I don't care what you call me. I just want to stand up and educate people and inspire people. I don't care if it's, in the bathroom and there's 3 people in there, I'll talk. So it's good. If it gets me to Australia, I'll speak in the bathroom in case anybody's listening.
Me too.
Okay, good. So, all right. Bathroom talk with Shira and Dr. Cindy. I can see it now. All right. What is your biggest guilty pleasure?
Oh my gosh. My biggest guilty pleasure. I'm doing a rewatch of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, when nobody else is around, and I friggin' love it. It's amazing. So yeah, I liked it back in the day. So yeah, I'm admitting it. I guess I'm not that guilty about it, but people wouldn't associate it. But I love it.
Oh my God, that's fine. I've never seen, but all right, I'll add it to the maybe list, right? Maybe. I have nothing to do. Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I'm sure there's people out there that are going, yes, it's awesome.
Yeah. Yes.
I know when it was a vampire. I think my son's girlfriend talked him into watching Vampire Diaries, and he'll kill me for saying this, but I would catch him watching it without the girlfriend. I'm like, what are you doing?
It was a good show too.
Nothing. I'm not watching anything, Mom. Like, all right, whatever. Listen, it's all good. Is there a weird food combination that you love?
A weird food combination. I'm so particular with food. Let me think about it. I like peanut butter and bacon. Have you ever had that?
No. And ew.
Okay. I don't do it consciously like a lot, but when they've come together before, they're surprisingly a salty, crispy treat. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm okay. I'm willing to do the Buffy thing. I'm not so willing to do the peanut butter or bacon. It's just so like when we talk next time or meet up or sit in the bathroom in Australia, there's not going to be any peanut butter and bacon in my backpack.
Okay. I'll just give you the Vegemite there in Australia.
Okay. Perfect. Okay. 3 apps. You can only have 3 apps for the rest of your life on your phone. What do you keep?
Oh my gosh. Well, it sounds like I'm a commercial for Apple. I would keep my, let me think. What would I keep? I'd have to keep, Apple Music.
Okay.
Cause I need music. I'd keep my, iPod. I'm like looking at my phone so that I can name it. And my Kindle app because I need to read. I'm a little book nerd.
You like it on you like reading? I like a book. I want to open the pages.
I just want all my books with me at all times so that if I'm bored and I can get ADD, I can go, no, I want this flavor. I want this flavor. Yeah.
Do you read more than one book at a time?
Sometimes, especially if I've got like a nonfiction and then a fiction. And because, sometimes I want to learn. Sometimes I want to go brain dead.
Yeah, I know. And I get bored easily. So I need to, I'll always have a couple going. And then if I get like a couple chapters in and I'm not interested, I just won't. Do you finish the book you don't like? Will you always finish a book? You'll put it away? No,
I will not. But I might go to the very end and look at the ending and then go, okay, I'm done. I don't want this anymore. Yeah. I kind of want to know what happens.
That's a really good, you just gave advice to me you didn't know you gave. That's really good because I'm, everybody's limited in time, right? But sometimes I don't get time to sit down. Maybe I do chapter 1 and the end of the chapter and I just put it away.
If it's not calling to you, don't waste your time. Life's too short.
If it's not calling, I don't even care what the end is. I don't care if he dies or they fall in love or whatever it is. It doesn't matter if I don't care. Yeah. I'm going to try that though, I think, just to save time.
Okay.
We'll see. Okay. If you could create a new holiday, what would we celebrate?
We're going to have Remarkable Day. And Remarkable Day is going to be all about self-care. Everybody gets a free 90-minute massage. I don't care who you are. So it's going to be that. Everybody gets to sleep in. You get a voucher for a fun lunch with your favorite people. And, then in the afternoon, you're going to have a conversation with someone you care about why each of you is remarkable. That's Remarkable Day.
I love it. Okay. So here's what I want to do today on the Positively Ultra podcast. I am not volunteering to pay for everybody's massage because quite frankly, too many listeners can't afford it. So you're going to have to pay for your own massage and we all can pay for our own lunch if we go for a friend. But can we pick a date? What date would you like Remarkable Day to be on?
Oh my God. Well, it should definitely be during the winter because everything's so blah. So why don't we make Remarkable Day like February the 27th?
I'm glad you didn't say like the 29th.
right? Because then it'll only be for 4 years.
Yeah. Okay. So February the 27th.
Yes.
And just so you know, you can apply for a Remarkable Day. You can do that.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Thank you for the ideas. I take a note.
Yeah. I don't know if you'll get it. Here we've applied for a couple days and they're like, nope, not important enough. And I'm like, well, we're going to host it anyway. So we don't really care. So here at the Positively Altered podcast, Remarkable Day is now officially February 27th.
Love it.
So I see in our, let's see, 2027, February 27th, Australia, a bathroom. It's weird to eat lunch in the bathroom. So let's eat first, Shira.
Yeah. I don't really want to eat in the bathroom.
And we will do the presentation in the washroom afterward.
Such a great planner. I love it. Okay.
And it's unique, really. Because when's the last time you've heard a keynote give a presentation in the bathroom?
I can honestly say never.
Okay.
So yeah.
We're going to be the first.
Okay.
I don't know if that's going to make us famous or just like ridiculous, but it might make us remarkable.
It will make us remarkable, and TikTok would love us. So yeah.
It might make us remarkable. Shira, what was your favorite thing about doing the podcast today?
Talking to you. You were fun.
Well, because if I'm not having fun, I leave.
Oh, I'm glad you didn't leave your interview of me.
No.
Yes.
So I'm officially midlife, just so that you know. I'm going to live to be 112, so everybody can do the math as to how old I am. I'm officially midlife. And my mantra is I'll do anything once, twice if it's fun, 3 times just to be sure.
Nice. I want to get that bumper sticker.
Yeah. And if I'm not having a good time, I'm out. Like, I'm just out. Like, this conversation would have been about 4.5 seconds and I would have been like, we're done, and we wouldn't have ended it. So no, this was absolutely great. Shira, how do we find you, get a hold of you, follow you, see you speak? Give everybody the info that you want them to have, short of, your home address so nobody shows up on your doorstep.
Yeah, stalkers aren't a good thing. Okay, the best way to find me is my website, and it's Shira, Shira, Miller.com. I'm also really active on LinkedIn, so you can check me out. I'm across all social. I'm the Shira Miller. So you can find me Instagram, Facebook. LinkedIn's kind of the big place where I post a lot of videos, though.
I love it. So make sure that you follow I love that. You're like the Ohio State, which, those of us that didn't go there make fun of, but I'm not making fun of you. The Shira Miller, which I love, because I'm sure there's more than one Shira Miller. There's more than one Cindy Howard. Yes, absolutely.
Right.
So we've got to make sure we find you. Please make sure you follow her. She's got some amazing content and it's fun. I guarantee that. If you want to learn more about what we are doing here in my world, please check us out at drsindyspeaks.com. Shoot us an email at hello@drsindyspeaks.com because we love your feedback, good, bad, or ugly. We don't care. We just want to hear from you. And please pick up the book, Positively Altered, Finding Happiness at the Bottom of a Chemo Bag, and let me know what your favorite chapter is. And, when you like the episode, make sure you share it with everybody because we want to get the word out. We want everybody having fun. And we know you are all capable of being remarkable. I hope today's episode has left you positively altered.